Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace podcast in the Dark Edition with your boy Holden, Stephan, Roy.
And your boy Chris Chrome.
This is the show where we break down hip-hop albums track by track, give you our thoughts and our opinions on every single song. And you may be going, why in the dark? Why? It's because it's 30-something degrees up in the humidity of Montreal today. And this light bulb just adds degrees to that temperature. And to make it a little bit cooler and easier to record, we said most of y'all probably don't sit there literally watching us. That's just an assumption. So we'll do it in the dark, and who knows, maybe it's a conversation point. If you think this is a freaking terrible idea, trust it's probably a one-off. It's just really muggy as today because we're not allowed to swear in the first couple of minutes. So YouTube robot thing, I censored myself. But it's really muggy as. So let me do the intro bit, and you guys can check the description of the video to skip ahead to when you want or whatever. And yeah, we'll just be a little bit spooky with ghosts and stuff. Because see, the light makes me glow. Anyway, I don't know. I'm in a weird mood. So we are not professionals, and we are not the most profound scholar types as we talk about Nas, The Lost Tapes 2 today, and go through each and every song on it. But I bring that up because I don't want to have the supposition that our word is law. In fact, our word is like we heard the album because it came out yesterday for us and we've listened to it a few times, and this is kind of our impressions thus far. Meaning that you, person in the future watching this, has probably spent more time with it, and I actually just respect your opinion on the album more than even mine at that point. So I would love to hear in the comments whatever corrections, whatever anything you want to add to the review in order to, complement it or to add some context and whatnot, because, as we'll get into the album, it just might happen like that. So on that note, we do care a lot about the comments. We read all the comments, answer all the comments, and on that note, I have my sort of favorite comment from last week's video on Big Crit's Crit Is Here review, which was Christopher's review without me there. He did it all, so if you want to check that out, you can. But this comes from Super Chico 4000, and he said, "This is a beautiful video, fire." And I gotta give it to this dude. This is like the ninth time.
Thank you.
The ninth time he's called one of our videos beautiful like that. And every time it feels as good as the first time to say it. And he changed it up recently for a different video. He said the Iggy Azalea video was album of the year. And I like this guy. Keep spamming my videos, my man. Just keep coming back. I appreciate your comments. Anyway, we'll get into the episode real shortly. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, DJ Black Hurricane, Lindell Williams, and Jonathan Barnes. DJ Black Hurricane. Okay, whatever. It's really hot today. So they're dope. We'll shout them out at the end, but I want to make sure they get the shout out while you're still watching. So let's start the episode. Mr. Christopher, what are we going to be reviewing today for the Google people?
So for episode 133 of the Headspace podcast, we chose Nas, The Lost Tapes 2.
Why? Because Nas. Why wouldn't you do it? I mean, that's a good answer, right? That's my answer.
Yeah.
So this is the part of the show where we're going to contextualize our experience and our understanding and our fandom with Nas, because I think it's super relevant and fair to all of you who are longtime Nas heads, to you who don't like Nas, who think he's great. There's a wide spectrum of opinions about the guy based on many factors. So for me, I know a lot of Nas's singles that dropped back in high school. I can spit a mean one mic, and there's video evidence of that on my Facebook page, so I can prove I can spit a mean one mic. Otherwise, as far as albums go, I didn't really do a lot of albums before this channel started, so we'll just go with what we reviewed here, upon which there's Illmatic, and then there's It Was Written, and then we also did Nasir. And I really liked all three of those albums. I really do like Nasir. I know some people might not have, but there's a couple songs like Everything, I think, or Every Time or whatever. Yeah. I come back to that song multiple times. I think it's one of my favorite songs that dropped that year. In general, though, I find Nas to be an extremely wise character with great lyrics, but I guess we'll go through my opinion of him in general just throughout the songs. I don't want to talk too much on him because I want to review a lot more of his music before I decide what I really think of Nas, and I don't feel it's fair given the limited run of his music I've actually consumed to really have a deeper opinion on him, but I can definitely talk about how I felt listening to this album, so I'm super open to that. What about you?
I mean, I was excited. I enjoy Nas. I really enjoyed the reviewing Illmatic when we did that for Classic Quest. So I was every time I hear him like featuring on a track or I see somebody or he shows up, it's like I guess there's this type of a biased feeling of like, oh, this is going to be dope. So I just kind of went into that with this type of mindset as well. That's just me. I was like, this is going to be a good album. I'm excited to check it out. From what I understood, it's like older music that has been recorded. It's like it's not new music.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point. Let's touch on that for a quick second. I actually have to agree with you. I feel like there's this almost obligation to be excited because Nas drops an album, and I'm about to say this with respect. I'm trying my hardest at least because I admire and appreciate everything Nas has done for the culture and truly think he's a wonderful MC. And I truly think his talent is paramount. On the other hand, this is a weird move, right? At least to me. I guess it's like a cool idea to release the music, but like it kind of gives you this opportunity, I suppose, to kind of say whatever and then wait like a decade and then put it out. And maybe not a decade. I think there was tracks ranging from like 09-ish, maybe a little earlier, all the way to like 2016 with the SwizZz Beatz sessions. And but like if you think about it, by dropping it now, let's say he takes any fire or criticism for anything, like anything at all, he's kind of got that like, yeah, but that was then, this is now. No matter what gets said, he can be like, but that was then and this is now. Conversation's over. I've evolved. Over. Doesn't matter what you want to criticize this album for. Instead, it's really just, I feel, for the people that want to hear some new Nas jams, you know, like I don't think this is meant to be a mainstream move by any means. I think this is strictly for his fans. He don't care what you're really gonna think about it, all things considered. That's what I truly believe, and I'm okay with that. It made me really just excited. It's almost like this giant list of B-sides that would have been put on what is currently being done with the deluxe version of albums,
right?
But just like across his career, just put together on this big old project, this 59-minute adventure. And therefore, the Lost Tapes too is cool with that cover with the broken ass tape up there, and I really like the cover. I think it does really great to brand this album,
the cover as well.
And the way it just says Nas, and it just looks like it almost makes me want to go back to a cassette player and bump out a tape. Like, it doesn't make me do it bad enough to go cop one, but it makes me desire the urge to go do it.
I like the way it looks like a statue, the way that it's been like busted out of marble. I really like it. Kind of plays on the whole lost, the ancient feel, the lost tapes, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Just my brain. So I really like how they kept that thematic and just kind of stuck with the whole kind of going back in time theme of this album. I don't have anything else to say. I find it's pretty just kind of simple as well. So it really just kind of does what it does to do.
Yeah. So anyway, I do think though that going into this, there's this pressure that you're not allowed to. You either people seem to just shit on Nas, or like you're not allowed to talk any kind of criticism about Nas and whatnot. So I just want to say right away that I very much respect the dude and his talent and whatnot, but there is some conversations to be had along the way, and that's the reals. So I hope that between you, audience members watching our darkened experience, I don't mean that in like a black way, I meant it literally like the room, so I hope that wasn't taken poorly. But with Nas, like, it seemed like good to like put that little explanation. Anyway, I hope there's no bad energy, y'all.
Keep that away, man. Keep that away. No bad energy, please, no bad energy.
Okay. Christopher, how do you feel about this song? We'll let you go first.
So I don't not like the track, but I didn't feel like it was a good start. I didn't feel like it started with a bang. Lyrically, Nas, I felt like he came in, he did his thing. He, kind of kept that tier of rapping that I appreciate him for. But I didn't feel like the song entirely really kind of was like, okay, I'll listen to this album. Just the song itself. I did listen to the album because and I think that's I think that's part of the conversation we're having is like I did continue the album because it's Nas. We are reviewing it, but I think that if this was just a voluntarily listen, I don't think I would have continued. So that being said, No Bad Energy is a cool song that is kind of straightforward, and Nas is expressing how he doesn't want any bad energy this year, and he kind of wants to have this like positive outlook on things. But I also kind of feel like he's flexing a little bit in the first verse. So he starts off, I'm oblivious to you skeptics, what you hear you ain't ever hear till I repped it. In iridescent hero's essence, please clear the exit. I chase demons outdoor, force them to hear the message, air them out. I really like that, but I feel like that really just captures the entirety of what the first song is and what that verse is. He's kind of like praising himself as like king shit in a sense, and I do think he can. Like he does have enough credit to prove that and say that he can do that. So I do give him that. Then we go into the chorus that I didn't really feel really had any oomph to it. It just no bad energy. But I did like when in the chorus it says, man, put that away. Light over here, man, put that away. Man, put that away. And I like how he's trying to express, like in a way, he's trying to express that we don't need negative energy, so put it away, make sure like you only deal with it on your own terms or something like that. So it's cool, but it didn't sound cool. For me, it didn't really do anything. Then we move on to verse 2. For verse 2, I like when he says, to rappers who never sold crack, telling other people's lives, never shot nobody, but be shooting people in their rhymes, never robbed nobody or re-up with coke in the ride. I'm probably who they talking about when they're writing most of their lines. Now, I understand what he's saying, and he's kind of like, I feel like he's also calling out like a lot of the fake rappers who are claiming to be such and such, right? That's very direct. But in a way, I feel like I have a problem with that line, because what if these people who are writing these lines are writing it from an aspect like they're trying to embody somebody else? They're trying to play a different character. They're trying to play another role. I don't think that takes away from their rhymes or what they're saying in their verse. I think that if you understand what the song is supposed to portray and the verse that it is, I feel like that's okay. That's just my own opinion, but I did like how he was kind of, the way he said those lines were really like, there was some type of passion behind it. That was something I did take from the song. But yeah, I didn't have much to say about it. It got a 4 on 5 because I think it's a good song, and Nas does a great job rapping on it, but it just didn't give me that like, man, I want to listen to this album.
Fair enough. I really appreciate the beat a lot, but I'm a little bit biased to SwizZz Beatz. I think the dude has like a sound that I'm super attracted to in general, and the production just kind of creates this almost grandiose feel, right? And I guess the energy you're trying to go for is godlike. So that's what you picture this like a montage, like this background music alone. Like this is for regality. This is for, top ego-like players. And I don't mean that in a negative sense, but like characters that are larger than life. And I feel like that's the tone you're coming off. And then just right off the jump, I'm oblivious to you skeptics. What you hear, you ain't even hear till I repped it. Iridescent hero's essence, please clear the exit. I chase demons outdoors, force them to hear the message, air them out. Heard the people discussing my whereabouts, etc. And I love the rhyming and the flow. I think it's truly like on point. Like you just hear every syllable like put up, like Skatt tips rhymes with a rep to essence, exits, forcing to hear the message, and he just makes it all flow. Like, these aren't hard rhymes in the regards that it's like park dark or whatever. It's more like he's flowing on the syllables, and he keeps it all riding in the beat in the pocket in such a perfect, absolutely beautiful way. And in that regard, Nas is truly one of the greatest ever. The way he can just deliver and flow, it is just remarkable. Then you add in the complexity of his lyrics, where on the real, sometimes I'm just sitting there going on this album like, what is he saying? Like, I mean, I get the gist of what he's saying, but like some of those lines require me to literally go and Google and read, and unfortunately I don't have the time to go that deep for just the time span for this review. But damn, it's just complex. Like, everything that he says, it stands for something. It's not vapid. It's not like empty, like moved on. Sold 1 million records, had him embarrassed, signed to Columbia, blew a check, he was laughing while y'all in the studio bragging about your past and thinking about back on trips in Manhattan. So even then, he's bringing in like sprinkles of his life as well. Like, he's popping over here, he's considering his future while he looks at other people that are potentially just wasting their lives, or they squander and not accomplishing what they're supposed to be doing. Anyway, so he puts down in the world as he's putting in his grind. Other people seem to be hating on him, and as a result, he wants no bad energy. And I completely agree with Chris. Hooks do not seem to be Nas's strongest suit, in my opinion. Like, you guys might love this hook. And in general, I realized as I was listening to the overall sound, because I'll give him credit, the sound of this album is pretty consistent, even though things change. Spoiler alert. But I could see how, like, if this is exactly the sound that gets your socks off and you're like super excited by, and like to you, this is the greatest thing ever, then man, it's like one of the best of this sound that I think I've heard. Just like, it's really strong and well crafted and well put together. And then there is a purpose for hooks like this, because it's meant to be that airy hook to let you think about what you just said. But the problem is that it just sounds to me a little flat and a little lacking any kind of for emotional tone. It's just like the same exact tone of him rapping in the verse. Like, it's the same verse and tone,
right?
Even with the ad-libs and stuff under it. But that's fine. I love the second verse and how what Chris brought up on how he, like, it's kind of focusing on people who have never lived the life and their desire to sell an image for the sake of money, and basically culminates it down to these guys is not proper, and then I'm probably who they talk about when they're writing most of their lines, and I didn't notice it. Trapping was what was happening with the bolder cliques around me. I'm surrounded by the most devoted clique. We saw the smokers get rowdy for all the potentness. So his world, where he comes from, that stuff was actually going on, and he was in his squad was committing certain actions that were the subject matter that turned out to be what a lot of people would play on, but a lot of these people never actually did it. And then I kind of like how he flows into almost criticizing, like, who said you guys are the gatekeepers of this life? Who says you get to decide what's fucking hot? When he goes, you suckers ain't say so. Whoever put you in a position to have a say so should be questioned thyself. And then he flows into some glossy stuff about himself, where he goes, I'm silk shirt, summertime sunny sun chaser. And when he said that, it really made me picture Jay-Z in the, Hawaiian Sophie video. And I thought that was funny that, like, it's almost like, I mean, I know it's a silk shirt, but it's a little bit different in terms of the Hawaiian shirt, but like just the image he's putting, I guess it's that mafioso stuff, but it's still just the way he said it, it made me picture that like kind of environment. Either way, I like how he ends it out with a little like shout out to Big E saying he still misses him. And then it just ends and you're sitting there going, okay, so while Nas is an extremely talented rapper and this beat is like an extremely good beat, I feel like the overall sound that we're left with at the end is not as good as each of the parts individually. So I'm giving this a 4.35, because while I really respect and admire the talent and everything that went into it, and let's say I'm in the mood for some like dance rap to listen to, like I could put this on, but I could also go put on like Illmatic or something. Right. And I think like while this is good, it's not great by any means, and I apologize if that offends anyone. I think this is really like, even in the realms of underground and stuff, there's just, it feels just like he just kind of threw some stuff together as opposed to really finesse this into like a final product.
I see that.
So again, the way he raps is amazing, and maybe and this is really maybe more of a question for y'all. Is this what it was? Like, was it really just about rapping? The beat really didn't matter all that much. The songwriting component wasn't that important. I mean, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be in some regard, and I'm not trying to bring that up to like pander to any opinion. It's just what I appreciate in songwriting is not necessarily being fully utilized, especially with that hook on this track. That hook really, I think, hurts this song more than it helps it. The beat, though, is nice. SwizZz Beatz did a good job. Either way, 4.35. Did you give your grade?
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
All right, let's talk about that Vernon Family.
Get rich project niggas. Billionaire mindset niggas.
This is what the fuck I'm talking about. Damn it, we can't swear as much, Holden. You gotta remember that. For real, this is fire. I almost did it again. The beat kicks in, and oof, Pharrell made it, and it's just fire. Apparently, this is from the Life is Good 2012 sessions. I just feel like there's this upbeat cadence that comes in,
Right.
and the way he's rapping this stuff, like literally rich. This 9-6 still would have hit an enemy with a Tekken 9-6. Exotic material on the neck and fly whips. It's got this like upbeat flow. It's got this cadence, this energy to it. I just feel like it's just pumped. It's just ready to go, and you just feel it, right? And then the hook's okay. It's more of a hook. It's not like a smash out the park hook, but it feels like a proper hook. So I'm like, all right, this song right away has me like going a little bit excited with it, you know. And then he's got shit like escargot, my car fresh from the dealership, esco alias, my escrow grow daily in the Farshi Air Max wear it, yes. And you know, he kind of paints this his lifestyle mixed with his fashion sense, mixed with this little snippets of who Nas is, in a sense of maybe not new, but really well done. Like, I really enjoy the ejaculatory depression after sex, and not mean after my nut, don't touch me, no questions, unless she's a restless spirit, then I can heal it. And that's an interesting line if you want to go psychoanalysis on this shit. What that tells me is Nas is a broken man whose confidence when it comes to women is not in the properest place. He's not feeling fully secure.
Yep.
You guys can say whatever the hell you want with me, but if you're feeling depressed after you nut, your soul is not right with yourself. Right? That's why I'm throwing it out there. And then if you are so closed off and reserved in a person that you're just like, whatever, I come, get away, boom, boom, you're gone, kind of makes you a dick. I mean, maybe it was cool to do this once upon a time, but from my perception, a little bit of a dick. Like, not real game. That's not game. That's just, I'm an authoritative rich guy. Unless she's a restless spirit, then I can hear it. Like, wait a second. So this is my game back in the day too. So me and Nas played the same game back when I was a dick. What you do is you go after women who got some problems up in their life, and then you get them to open up about themselves. And as they're opening them up about yourselves, you fake give away information on yourself, superficial crap, whatever, and you let them get all connected and attached, and then you help this girl and you give her good advice, and you and your soul feel like freaking Superman. So all of a sudden now you can stick around because you're totally validating another part of the ego. Now I'm just saying, when I hear lines like that, I'm like, oof, Nas is a little bit interesting in his approach to ladies. That's all I'm trying to say. See, personally, I don't do that kind of stuff no more because I find it childish and immature. But who am I to judge Nas's play? Nas knows what he's doing. He's a grown-ass man. But then he goes, but you fighting with the, spend a lot of time together. I know her feelings, but you fighting what the essence of a woman is. I respect you. My love's limitless. There's a bit of a weird juxtaposition there. I don't care if I get dislikes for this. But, like, what he's saying in that first line there, but you fighting what the essence of a woman is first of all implying that he knows what this woman is supposed to be doing. So fine, there's a lot of people out there into the gender roles and into the sense of whatever, but Nas, you don't get to tell another human what they're supposed to be doing. You just don't get to tell other humans that stuff like that, right? You can be like, if you want to roll at me, this is what it is, but I'm just not saying Nas is the authority on what the essence of a woman is. Him, like, of all the people in the world, Nas is not my guy for essence. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So, whatever. But then to follow up with you fighting what you're supposed to be, but I respect you. No, you respect this vision of what the woman wants to be. This is just the psycho, like, whatever behind what he's saying here. Nah, it's like, if you do what I want, and if you play my role, and if you do your part, then I respect you. That's more the feeling I get from this verse than him actually offering respect. Because, when you respect a woman, you let her be the essence of who she is. You don't tell her what the essence of a woman is. That's just how I feel about the respecting of women in life and whatnot. So what, you want to be the man or the woman? Play your position? You don't fucking respect her, dog. You can't. You can't just say that. Like, that's just not true. Like, maybe I'll take some hate for this in the comments, but, like, we've heard some pseudo-misogynistic shit. This is some dangerous crap that Nas is talking about. Nas should not... I believe that the behaviors he's exhibiting here and the way he treats people is a little bit manipulative and wrong. That's my opinion. Based on what he said here and his arguments, it's contradictory and kind of whack. Now, that's just my opinion on that stuff. Does he deliver it well? Yeah, that's cool. Is he even allowed to be like that? For sure. Now, if he finds some lady that consents and is down to ride and wants to play that role, I completely support it. But just don't be like you respect her and then tell her to play that part and do what the hell you want. Those two things aren't equal. That's all I'm trying to say here. Anyway, throws back to his old days and he has box cutters and, and maybe this isn't even about Nas. Honestly, maybe I'm just going too far into it because I don't want to be accused of that, as I sometimes do. But I feel like maybe he is just painting the picture of the hood. So if I take a step back and I look at it from that perspective, perhaps he really is documenting a really good example of some stuff that really happens, or perhaps it's just him. But given his attitude towards women across this album, I think it's both. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
From what I understand, isn't like Vernon Family, isn't Vernon a block? Like
yeah.
It's a street, so it's his, it would be like his block.
How they are. And look, maybe that is everything that's accepted over there. I don't have to agree with how other people treat people. That's fine. I just have to respect the fact that I'm not always right. And frankly, somebody in the comments might school my ass and convince me of something or another that I don't understand. But if the argument is essentially this is the way it is, then I don't really agree. I think we should maybe all start thinking about better ways to be instead of trying to reinforce the way things have been forever and ever. If we all think about it, nobody really wants to go back to the way things were. We all want to build something new together. All things considered, it's an old song, but it's not that old. It's a 2012 song. It's not like we're talking mid-90s old where things were different. Nah, this was pretty recent where things weren't that different, Anyway, then I guess he flows through and he just kind of puts it down, thinking back to the old days a little bit, and then kind of shows that he's repping his people. And then you got the second verse, I got the je ne sais quoi, what bother with girls who like to play keep away with their toddlers, which is fair. If the girl's not going to be upfront, respectable with that stuff and not handle that situation correctly. In that regard, Nas, I completely agree with you. Very reasonable statement. She started with good intentions like a rich pastor. Bitch was bad, turned from good thing to disaster. Takes forever to build a rap, 1 second to lose it. She put her neck in a noose, snapped it. I mean, if you respect her, it shouldn't take 1 second to lose it. It should take a little bit more than 1 second. It should be an ongoing process. I mean, love is a battlefield, like Pat Benatar says, and it's a complicated situation. I would imagine you'd want compassion if you messed up. Maybe I'm just, I've been called a SJW a few times this week over on my other channel, so maybe that's what this is. Maybe I am. I don't really know. But when I hear it, I'm like, look, the rhyming-wise, I'm totally with you. The philosophy-wise, I'm just not sure I agree with Nas on the role of women in life. But that's okay. Because it's almost like she got lobster appetites, lots of habits, like fronting when she need apartment deposits. Here's something, get you a starter, put part of my pimping, I don't sponsor, I don't buy cars, I coach you to win. You know what, if you broke, your man don't teach you, get rid of him. Wait. So this might be about his ex, right? Because they broke up around the time. And I'll be real with you, she published a book that, exposed a whole bunch of stuff. So maybe he's super angry about her, but Like, for real, it just sounds so whiny at the end of the day. It doesn't sound responsible and mature. It doesn't sound like this character that Nas was trying to portray in the last song. It sounds like an 18-year-old guy complaining about his freaking girls that he can't handle in a relationship properly. Maybe I'm not certain how, like, I don't want to be the guy that is sitting there judging how other people are, but this comes off kind of immature to me, and I keep that with an open mind that maybe I just don't understand. But Nas did just put this album out, so he thought this was dope. But like, it's almost like the woman has to, like, it's not like he's not gonna get her shit. He has to train her to hustle or train her to build her own thing, and unless he does stuff the way she wants, it's like, get out. And I'm like, okay. And if your man don't teach you shit, he's useless. It's like, dude, who are you to drop your suppositions on everyone else on how relationships are supposed to work? Again, Nas is not my shining example of romance or womanhood. Like, there's just plenty of other people that have empirically proven to be better at this shit. So, all things considered, I think this song was a 4.5. I know. I just sat there and criticized the fuck out of Nas, but I just had to get it out of my system because it's baffling to me just how different he and I see the subject of women and how you're supposed to be as a partner to the person you're with in your life. And that's just philosophically. But if we talk about the beat, the hook, the actual flow of the verses and stuff, outside of what I'm not 100% into, I don't care for the message of this song, but cut that out and look at how he delivered it and everything else, it's pretty fucking great. It's way better than the last track, in my opinion. 4.5 on 5. I know I'm a fucking weirdo, but if Nas can be kind of a walking contradiction, so can I.
No, but it makes sense, and I do agree because I feel the same way. Like, I don't know if he's expressing this as who he is. I don't know if he's expressing the song as what he used to kind of do back on the block, but there is this sense of like, how do I say, sense of like memory, sense of reminiscing in a way, like this is what we used to do. I like to believe that he doesn't do this shit now. I like to believe that now it's a whole different, a whole different vibe. You've quoted everything I highlighted, and I like it because you got more in depth on what I wanted to say. The first part, literally rich, this Nas stick still would hit. I just feel like he's kind of flossing. He's kind of just explaining, like, I'm, like, again, following suit with the I'm the best type attitude, which I totally respect. Move down a little bit lower, and I've got, like, kind of goes back and he explains, like, since my days of Saint Ideals, pulling out box cutters to bang ops who, like, he I don't know if that's him. I never really thought of Nas as being like a gangbanger or like killing somebody or something like that.
Like, definitely in the heart of it.
I know he's in the heart of it, but not like him himself. So I feel like sometimes, are you writing this just as a perspective of your environment, or are you writing this as a perspective of where, like, you actually did this?
But, like, I also believe to some degree that while maybe Nas, I don't think he's ever been clipped doing something serious, that doesn't mean he wasn't in environments trying out some things along the way.
Fair. Overall, though, this song had a better beat to it. I really enjoyed this one more. It had more of like a bounce with it. It was more of just an earworm to me. So I gave it a 4.2.
All right, why don't we move on then to track 3 on this little project, Jarreau of Rap, Skatt Attack.
Here's the memories. I used to play for the Vernon every yesterday. Had a lot.
I kind of dig the energy on this song. I feel like it's pretty alive, but I want to hear what you think before you accuse me of quoting everything I wrote down.
I like the energy, I like the vibe, and I like that, like the piano, sped up piano keys and that like weird synthy techno sound they kind of got going through. It's really cool. The beat was produced really, really well. But I don't know if I had much interest in terms of what he was saying, more or less just hearing and seeing how he flows with it. He really follows the pattern, I want to call it like the metronome pattern that's used. He really follows that to a T, and it was really, really nice to hear. Verse 1, something that I feel like he just kind of sets up what the song's about. He goes, everybody's not gonna get you, but keep going. I be cruising 40,000 feet like I'm a Boeing down
Hey,
in me.
get it? Because Boeings are planes that cruise in the sky. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Doubting me, they said I would have no longevity. Instead, I'm steadily, rapidly these fundamentals. I assemble the sentences because someone like. That's why I like it. He's really playing on the syllables. He's really playing on the words. He's really going at it and kind of proving why he is kind of like the best. But I felt like that really just, that was I felt like the rest of the verses kind of repeated that same type of statement and energy. It was just different ways on how he was being better. But something I did like that I kind of felt stuck out to me was when he said on verse 3, evolution of a man and his music, the ill fill of harmonic, symphonic, acoustic. My Wikipedia just said it. I'm multimedia when you rock a O2 arena.
May I just say, turn the O2 into a O3. Anyway, go on.
But like I felt that line was really cool because the beat itself does evolve, and I felt like he was talking in like present, like I'm evolving with the beat. This is why I'm good. This is why I can do what I can do.
He
and
also
it was cool.
apparently performed with a symphony for Regeneration with DJ Premier and Elmatic at the National Symphony Orchestra live from the Kennedy Center, according to Jen Zao over on Genius. So thank you for that.
That's really dope. But I think that this song again is just more flexing, kind of more just like, look at me, look what I can do. I didn't really get any type of like distinct message from it. It was more just felt like bars and this is why I'm dope. I did like it though. It had crazy energy and it's starting to pick up for me, and I was like, this is I guess kind of what I'm looking for. This different sound, this being unique, and that creativity was something was really cool. Did Pharrell make this beat? I think
This beat was made by Jarreau and Keyon Harrold, the featured artist.
Well, good on you guys.
So Keyon Harrold is the guy who I believe is playing the trumpet or the horn or whatever in the background, who does his like the outros and whatnot, and the way he's just interloped in is freaking great. And I'm not exactly sure who Jarreau is. I think he sings and does some instrumentation, and part of the song is based on his track Round 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 Blue Radio a la Turk by him, and he's kind of the guy who does the singing with Nas at the parts in the hooky thing where you hear somebody else join in. So I thought that was cool that he kind of grabbed in some old-timey legends to like work with them and make some fresh new shit.
Dope. I ended up giving the song a 4.3 on 5.
Right away, I feel like I was caught, like, this might be one of the only songs where it truly just, like, stands out on this album. Like, it doesn't sound like anything else, and that's actually, like, a pretty good thing. Just like the hook, the melody, harmony, steadily, and it's just fun. Like, I feel like it's fun. Like, it's cool, but it's also the words he's saying are, like, you know, musical terms. Melody, the composition of the notes and the order they come in, harmony, the layering of different chords to create desired effect, steadily, I guess keeping going in steady motion. I don't know how steadily fits in except that it rhymes with everything. But lyrically on the verses, it's cool. You know, instead I'm steadily rapping these fundamentals. I asked somebody send this because someone said that I've been unadventurous. I've been uninterested. Leaving life is what matters. You know, learning life is what matters. Chill, I'm the humble bragger. I could son a rapper. Every one of you rappers. Vamamos, I'll be running you rappers. So, you know, like, he decided to actually make something new and funky and fresh to respond a little bit to the criticism that maybe Nas is a little bit boring or maybe not, whatever. So he did this, which, as you heard me say, alive, fresh, pretty dope.
Right.
But he also feels that fundamentally he's significantly better than other rappers out there, to the point where he just needs to get himself a massage. What he doesn't tell you is that he's paying extra for the happy ending. Or maybe not. I'm sure Nas can get free happy endings. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how many happy endings you get in life, really. As you get older in your life, do you get more or less free happy endings?
You guess depending on what you do.
And I guess who you are. Anyway, so Jarreau of rap, so he's identifying with the guy he's working with here, and then made the Mets hat more famous than Strawberry. Y'all know this already, so Strawberry is a Mets player, and because he wore that Mets hat, he made it more famous because, you know, he's a rapper and he sold a whole lot. And it's crazy to think that, like, one rapper icon can sell more merch for a sports team than the sports team. Anyway, then he just kind of like has his hook again, you know, here was a symphony, a measure by pleasure, a harmony, melody, here was the memories. I used to play 40th for it like every yesterday, whatever. And what I like about Nas is, and I think this is one of the checklists for the real ones that I keep bringing up in my mind, real ones lose. Nobody who never loses is really winning. Because you're going to lose. It's just impossible. Everybody says it. Everybody knows it. If you try in life, you will have to fail to learn how to win effectively. So when Nas goes, had a lot of losses, I hurt a lot, losing cats, but was worth it. I gave a lot, giving back still. I catch heat because I'm black and I'm ill. And I'm ready, I made millions, and they're in feelings that they can't hide it. I don't internalize it, I ignore it. I was taught to observe it, not absorb it, so I don't absorb it. Where he actually gives us a really good lesson in this little part. So he recognizes that you're not always going to win in this music thing or in this life thing. But also once you have some success, you're going to receive a certain amount of hate. And instead of a lot of other people and how they react to it, he doesn't internalize these feelings. He kind of deflects them away. And he watches and sees how people are, and he makes tactful decisions based on the information at his disposal, ending up with him not absorbing the hatred and the dark energy and moving on back to that, like, no bad energy idea.
Right.
And then, you know, you get that third verse where it's like, yeah, I'm actually even better than I was. Wikipedia says so. We all know how valid a source Wikipedia turned out to be. Ba-dum-boom. Okay, I'm not funny, I know. And then you have really a fun outro from Jarreau, and I really enjoyed that. You also got the incredible flute bits, and I thought this song was alive, fresh, fun to listen to. But thematically, it feels like this is a lot of Nas basically saying, I'm the best, and I'm great. Maybe I deserve more credit than I've been given, and etc., etc. And that's so far what I think we can say we've gotten safely on this album so far. Oh, and my ex-wife is not behaving how a woman should behave. So anyway, I like this particular track a whole bunch, and I give it a 4.5 on 5 because for real, it's stellar. It sounds amazing to listen to. Like, I feel like the one thing I can't get behind is maybe all of the content Nas is saying, but the way he says the content is great.
Nice.
All right, so we'll talk about the lost freestyle, or are we gonna find it?
On test 1, 2, give me some feedback if y'all can feel it for the home invasion.
So around this part of the album, I started having this like epiphany. This is what the hell people mean when they go, Nas is like this great rapper, but honestly, sometimes with the beats, you're just not feeling it.
Right.
Like, it's not that Nas isn't saying dope stuff. I force myself to pay attention to what he's saying here. But holy crap, every time I hear this track, I feel like I want to go do something else. Like, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, like, nothing is hooking me. The beat's not hooking me. The way Nas raps isn't hooking me. The tone of his voice isn't hooking me. Like, I don't know what it is. It just feels like once you get past that and you listen to it, you know, and you listen to him, who be the holy prophet? They watch him with all his posture. His Rostin goggle gave me deposit these guys. And I'm like, damn, this is actually pretty good. Be from the 80s era. His Tint, Shade, Carrera, Queens Forever, Green Pipe, Seeds, Clean, Panama, Amateur, Hannah, Barbara characters know they envy. All right, so he's ill. He thinks he's like one of the greatest to come out of this, like almost a prophet. You know, you take some shots at others. You pick it a week, voted in rappers. You go against me. You can't tantalize a girl with just a roll of pennies. Okay, that's cool, that's true.
Right.
Some double entendre shit, because he's implying that their efforts are the equivalent of that when they challenge him. And Call Girl doesn't really like that. She wants some real stacks. And, you know, can't beat a lion in a trap without a tranquilizer. You enter in a boxing ring with no trainer beside you. But meanwhile, it's a really, like, the beat just kind of sounds like loungy. And it kind of makes me feel, like, relaxed and not wanting to really pay attention to what he's saying. And then the second verse comes in, and I don't know, I tell a story of a prince, life in all his glory. It's killing me softly, somber like buildings in Fort Greene. Hood monsters who walk me, hood that just came home and they gripped their chrome. Can you hear me? This thing on. Test 1, 2, give me some feedback and y'all can feel it. I'm just like, it's dope when you like think about it in the regards of it sounds good. And I guess if I really wanted to take the time to really delve into what Nas is saying here, it would be really good.
Well, I feel like he was just kind of expressing how I think people in the hood or his area kind of listen to him and kind of feel like he's there with them and they kind of connect. That's how I got that.
But at the same time, I just felt myself, and you guys know if you've been really watching that, like for the most part, I don't feel this way. But I wanted to like give it a fair chance, but like every time I would listen to it, something would pop open, or halfway through the song I found myself reading an article and I'm like, shit, and then I go play it back and it's okay. That's the best I can give it. It's okay. But it's really well produced, and back into that point where, like, let's say this sound is the sound for you. It follows all the rules, right? Like the flow is intricate, the lyricism's on point, the instrumental's well composed, everything's well mixed, and I'm supposed to be liking this more than I am. So I'm gonna give it a 4.35 from the sake of objectivity and for the sake of, yeah, there's such a thing as objectivity in music. This shit's math and science. It's less feelings than you would think. But then you have these moments like this where my feeling is going, if I never heard this song again, I'm alright with that. Like, the other ones were cool. I'd be okay with hearing them again. This one was just like, it could be another lost freestyle for the rest of my life.
I feel that. I enjoyed the energy he came with it. I actually really liked the song. I do agree that the beat is kind of not like the hypest thing, but I think that when you really look into the lyrics and you really kind of take a moment to really listen to what Nas is saying, it may kind of shift the liking a little bit, in my opinion. I do like, again, like I said, how he is kind of expressing how he can connect to his atmosphere. He can connect to the people around him. I like how he's expressing, I like how he's having fun. That's something that I noticed on this, and I think this is where I went, this is the Nas that I like. So far, we're already at track 4, and this is the song that I feel he actually has that like nonchalant, carefree type of rapping. He's really just kind of having fun and bringing that passion. And it does, for me, it does sound different than the couple of songs we've already listened to so far. But I don't have much to actually say about it. It kind of follows suit in terms, it kind of follows suit with what he's been saying. Who'll be the holy prophet, they witch him with all this posture. Like, he's kind of maintaining that same stance of, I am over here on this level of rapping. This is what I can do. So I do praise him for that. But overall, I give it a 4.3.
All right. Well, Tanasia. If you're not from Queensbridge, then you must be from Asia.
Ride the wood. Tanasia. If you're not from Queensbridge, then you.
So if I understand correctly, and I might miss the point of this song, he's really into this half black, half Chinese chick, and he just wants to fuck her, and that seems to be. But like, she has to know her role as the side chick.
I mean, I don't know if it's a side chick or whatnot. I just think I
oh no, right? Well, it says wifey, no side chick.
I completely go with the whole. He is infatuated with this woman. He kind of like showing her appreciation for her, what she does. I mean, in verse 2, he starts off, she educated. She says she related to Asian ethnic persuasion. The sex is amazing. Never bought her a Birkin. My nighttime nurse made me more like a surgeon. Anyway, like, he clearly really appreciates her and praises her and really kind of puts her on that pedestal. So I give him that. But I'm not the dude who's going to explain this song. I don't like it. I didn't care for it. I had nothing to say about it. It bored me. The beat itself was just a little bit down. Like, just, it didn't hit me the way I think that they want it to hit people. And the hook on this is trash. The chorus on this is trash. Whatever you want to call that is trash. I'm not trying to be mean
You don't have to like it, Chris.
I don't like it. So I gave the song a 3.7.
And it's like 30-something degrees in this room. Celsius, guys. We're in Canada. You can Google the conversion rate for you American folk who make up 70% of our viewership. But, like, for real, it is hot and I'm cranky. So maybe I'm not going to be as nice as I'm supposed to be. But if I were to understand, maybe an alternate meaning is this is talking about somebody that he's met that is, just what you were reading, smart enough to know the history and the roots of the people, which he culminates to at the end of the song. So he goes through the song with the whole girl, you know. He just kind of describes her: truck, jewels, big stacks, mustard boots, construction on her feet. She eat duck confit. I shoot up the club whenever I hit it raw. If she have a baby, I'ma love her more. I don't know why they all have to, like, promote this risky accidental baby making. I mean, I'm saying that with my 2019 lens. I don't know what the times was like, but it seems like a lot of these dudes is like, yeah, accidentally had 15 kids. Whoops. And then you wonder why a lot of other people try to have 15 kids who maybe can't afford it, because these guys might be able to. But how many of these guys got clipped by, like, child support because they have, like, 15 kids? Right. Anyway. I shoot up the club whenever I hit her. Come on, man. But I get it, because that's a good line, because it could be like fucking or it could be the gun, and it's a double entendre. Still, she knows how to roll weed but doesn't smoke. She gets Chinese massages. She goes sightseeing, playing cards with my dad, frying chicken for the mob, simply lemonade. You know, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. He's describing a girl and his ideal, what he really wants, and he, you know, then he has that chorus where he's like, never knew a love like this before. Who said you were just a whore? I'm like, what is he saying here? Is that romantic? Is that like whatever? Is that because the girl was a whore and he saved her? Or is this because people called her a whore? And I can't get behind the way Nas thinks about women. I don't understand it. It's so confusing to me. She educated. She said she related to Asian ethnic persuasion. The sex is amazing. Right. Again, the lyrics is fucking fire in terms of how he's saying them. I mean, the rhyming is super good. And I'm not trying to take away from that, because I know it's important, y'all, for me to say that every time I have a criticism to make. But this is stupid in terms of, like, a song to me. Like, I don't get the point of what he's trying to make here. Or how he's romantic. Like, you know, back when she was on the same block I would service, it's straight. We need a place like up in Jamaica Estates. And she's like, oh no, in a silky kimono. She said the streets, the snakes, plus Governor Cuomo.
Maybe it's not supposed to be like, maybe it's supposed to be more in terms of like a reminiscent thing. Like as he's expressing this, like he's kind of looking back
but
about
then
like,
he goes on, she knew I wasn't going to be no husband. I'd be a no-show, leaving her standing at the altar, bro. I couldn't falter. Plus that Nigerian blood mixed in her culture. And I'm like, so wait. We're going through this whole thing where you're setting up the girl all for you to be like, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be responsible and, like, you know, link up with her. I'm happy to use you
like
for my pleasure.
Maybe he's explaining like he's sick and twisted and he has issues, and this is a situation that he's kind of going through.
That's fair. He's allowed. I don't think he's self-aware about it. I don't think Nas realizes maybe Nas is the problem in most of Nas's relationships with women, and I'm assuming here. Maybe I'm wrong. But when a dude spits his poetry to us in the world, it does give you a glimpse into their soul. This is the glimpse he gave me into his soul. I don't know. Maybe I just, again, don't understand it at all. It's just not... Even when I was a player, I never treated people like that because it's not effective. It creates drama, and I don't like drama. Anyway, then they're now at the Met Gala, but so he's just some rando, right? Because at the end of the day, he's not going to wife her or nothing. He's just going to use her. I probably am coming off so judgmental. Whatever. It's just like, what is this song? Anyway, toast glasses, velvet robes, no trespassing, hella smoker section has the best fashion. How the hell is Nas going on about being a fashion rapper? And Nas is supposed to be like the OGest of OGs. And everyone disses rappers for being fashionable today. You could just say I got it from Nas and you'd be set for fucking life, because Nas was into that shit too. So if it's like Nas is a goat and he's all rapping about fashion, then how is it that the kids doing it today is not cool for it? Y'all make no sense sometimes to me.
Man, I guess it depends on the fashion.
I don't think it really does, right? Because being fashionable is just dorky from my perception no matter what you're doing. You're letting other people, usually, whatever, other people tell you exactly what to wear. And that's weird. That's weird to me. I wear the most basic shit I can. I think J. Cole's got it figured out. I'm also 31, so what the fuck do I know? Anyway, all of a sudden he just transitions from this song with the girl, and I do appreciate his line. Chilling, starting to think about children and bringing them into the world, but it's Kim Jong-ilin. Because it's not Un yet. It's still ill at that point. Or maybe it's not. Whatever. My whole point here is that was actually a creative line. Like, should we even bring in kids into the world with the state of everything? That's cool. And then he brings up the fact that everybody comes from Asia, but we're in Western civilization and we're destined to make it. And I'm like, what? This was a wacky way to end this song to me. I'm not seeing the super brilliance in this one. This may be, in my opinion, the worst song on this album. So I gave it a 4.15. Because again, well mixed, beat's really good. It's got a hook. You might like it. I don't. And so I look at it like it's a well-crafted experience that I totally don't feel. However, maybe it isn't meant for me in any meaningful way. That's fine. Did you talk about this one?
No. Yep.
You did? So you're part of my royalty?
Yes, I am.
Up with the gauls, getting drunk by the store, smoking blunts with some more fraud ass niggas who like.
Frank Ocean is in the songwriting credits because once upon a time, Frank Ocean and Nas were creating an album at the same time. And once upon a time in an interview, Frank Ocean sang this hook. So Frank Ocean wrote the hook of Royalty. And that's the big secret of why Frank Ocean is in the songwriting credits of this song. And so you got this hook, whatever you do, young king, don't wind up dead. That's actually a pretty good mantra line. I like this. This is a good hook. Then he goes, young queen, cross your legs. I'm like, you're really not good at respecting certain types of ladies, are you, Nas? Put a crown on your head and remove the chains. Even diamond chains are for slaves. That's cool. That really makes you think about the symbolism of the jewelry that you wear, right? Mm-hmm. So what he's saying is, any chain's a chain. So like, even if you wear it and it's diamonds, blinged on, it looks real nice. If you're wearing a chain, it's reminiscent of the chains that reflect the history of where everyone comes from. Don't go to prison. Don't taste poison. And in my opinion, that could be both drugs and food. Because food is absolutely poison, right? I might be wrong. I don't know. He has poison apparently on some other track. I don't know. I looked at a Genius annotation. That was stupid of me. But like, you think about what you eat. You think about just how everything breaks down into body chemistry. Right. And so much of the products in our life are just poison. Then you could go up from an ideological point of view where it's the poisoning of ideas. Don't bail on your family. And then these last two lines are new, apparently, from what Frank Ocean sang. So because they don't know that you're royalty, but they're going to know when they see us. And it's a really good hook. I really enjoyed it. I thought that was nice. Then Nas kicks in. A known fraud once fell on his own sword. Scrawny is a fiend. He'll tell on his own broad. His lady's crazy and it bugs me. Behind her best friend back, she call her best friend baby ugly. Less than a week, he treating his dick to a freak he know. Talking dirty to him on speakerphones. Right before he clinked up, his girl creeped up. And I'm like, ooh. So we got a good beat going on here. And Nas is doing that picture painting, environment telling, kind of describing a little bit the people in the hood in his environment that, you know, he sees going on. Like, and I thought this one was actually really good, like really engaging, really made me want to listen. So the opposite of the last one. She yelling out the window, you can't stay with that whore. Hours went past, she slashes his face open. He goes to the store, he's chilling, macking on the next chicks. Then she shows up and she's willing to take him back, and that's just kind of the cycle of how these things go. And then he kind of points out football wives, basketball wives, mistresses / more tires with knives. They're looking for $1. So this kind of paints up how a lot of people end up with multiple girls. People are willing to take a bunch of cash, do whatever. Maybe it's a little bit shady, and he's looking for a Joanne Chesimard. And Joanne Chesimard is Assata Shakur, who was involved in, I think, the Black Liberation Movement, and she proceeded to do a lot of feisty, rebellious stuff. And I say that because I haven't looked that deep into her. But man, I started reading through her wiki page and stuff, and I'm like, this is a lady I need to know more about. So a conscious, woke, revolutionary type is more what he's looking for. Somebody that could spot a king of diamonds, and it just kind of flows out from there. And I do appreciate the differentiation he's making between what he's craving in people and other people. And I think he does a much better job, at least, talking about women in terms of describing what he views as an ideal person, at least having some positive attributes beyond play your role, woman. So, what kind of shows you be watching? It shows. This is how we chose who we rock with. And that's another interesting point. If you're sitting there watching certain types of television, or listen to certain types of music, or read certain types of books and magazines, that tells a lot about who you are as a person, whether you like to admit it or not.
Well, because you're getting your influences from those things you're reading and learning.
But even just like the decision to ultimately choose to view that content or that piece of media says something about who you are. So if you choose to eat the poison of content versus if you choose the more difficult stuff, like if you're looking to more complex ideas, if you're on Skillshare, you're probably learning better than if you're on Netflix, is I guess a way to look at it. So if you come back and you're like, yo, I'm on Skillshare, I take like 2 courses a week, I'm gonna be like, damn, that dude's probably real smart, just because of what he's watching. And then, he kind of points out in the third verse the struggle of how he wants to kind of legitimize everybody in his life, but these people aren't necessarily coming from an environment where that's the simplest thing, is all I'm trying to say.
Right.
A criminal's wit, intelligence, still a menace with each skin, as I said, bring the kid ideas, the visions they get. How this dude rich, he snuck in with no citizenship. I don't actually fully know what that meant. I just thought it sounded freaking dope the way he rhymes it, because he is a really sincerely great rapper, all things considered.
Like illegal person in country is now a rich man who's not part of that country.
And then either way, it kind of ends with, wish it could be more, pray I beat the court cases, women with small waists, lonely, I ain't too far, smoke weed and count paper, I'm about paper and pussy and buying the par, fly ass, y'all jealous of who we are. I suppose that's very fair. Many people are probably jealous of the folk who actually get to live that life, and I'll give it to Nas. He's probably at a position where he's lived that life for a very, very, very long time. All things considered, I thought this had a great sound to it, and it's one of the better tracks on this album, and I gave it a 4.5. So, one last point. He tells the women to close their damn legs, but he also talks about how he's all about the pussy on the very same song.
So I think... So what I kind of understood, because I also felt a lot of contradictions as well, but what I kind of understood was that, like, kind of just live your life, do what you want to do, but just kind of be cautious about it. So, like, in the first verse, you get this whole kind of build-up of, like, the whole, the relationship doesn't seem to be going well. Or like the girlfriend seems to be crazy, but the boyfriend is the one who's like cheating on her or whatnot. And I like that parallel. I like how he's showing like y'all could do what you want to be doing, but you don't have to do it this way. Like, I'm not saying he's giving out. I'm not saying that he's giving you ways on how to get away with certain stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like he's trying to address not having to get violent, like Holden said, like she cuts his the girlfriend cuts his cheekbone at one point with the knife and something, and it's like kind of getting this like vibe of we shouldn't have to act in certain ways to kind of deal with, I guess, certain problems is what I'm kind of getting at, or at least what I'm getting from this song. I also like how he's trying to how like we said, trying to get my homies legitimate. Shit is ugly. My dude's struggling. Drug dealer shit, silhouette of a murderer. Thug person, fitted Mets cap, drunk liquor bit, young black militian just hopping in and hit a lick of criminals with intelligence. Like, I like how he's really giving you these people are smart, but they're stuck in a world that makes them act and be this other way. Because he goes, a criminal's with intelligence. It's like he's showing you both sides of what the potentials are if given the chance to achieve both sides. That was something I liked about the song as well. But I think that this is something that really started changing how I kind of looked at the album right now, because it really was produced well. I really enjoyed the chorus. I really enjoyed the energy flowing through the song. That was something that I wasn't getting so far. So I left it with a 4.2.
Alrighty, so the next track on this album features David Ranier? Either way, it's called Who Are You?
I guess it's true, but who the fuck are you? Who are you trying to tell me?
So we just reviewed Ice Cube's Death Certificate Bonnie and I did, and there is a track on there that's remarkably similar to the subject matter discussed here, which kind of looks at, I'm going to assume black folk who go through the gambit of college and get out and get to nice paying jobs and essentially integrate into, as Nas puts it, white man society.
Right.
So I heard you got your master's, did the college, I never looked back, now that's what's happening, and it's good to see you made it out the hood with a degree, a true man with passion. Now you can enter the so-called white man society and go right past them, looking in the Wall Street Journal for your face, but it's always absent. So on top of the rhyming being really good, I feel like, wow, finally Nas is bringing up like an actually interesting subject. Because I'll be honest with you, his flossiness that we've encountered so far on the album isn't like hyper flossy.
Right.
And like I don't feel like he's really had a lot of passion up until this moment, where on this subject, like there's a lot of passion on this song. And I really feel that really makes it a little more alive to me. And then, the idea that as much as you try to integrate into their world, it'll never happen. You're not going to be there. I think even today there's 2 black billionaires, 3, 5 maybe in the States. I mean, there's more, but barely any compared to the number that are actually out there. So it's not exactly the conditions haven't changed all that much, is what I'm trying to say. Overall, this one was another track recorded for the Life is Good sessions around 2012. And I like how he kind of brings up stuff that was, again, really similar to Ice Cube, down to the joke things. Like, he sighed, he was cold in this restaurant full of his kind and more. He sighed, tried to look surprised. I know a side of the city where he resides, so I had to go. I heard him laugh at some of the sad black jokes, hate so-called intellectuals, no balls. He suggests we vote. He sound all proud speaking to correct his folks, Then he suggests they shouldn't sell dope, and even if it's true, it's like, who the fuck are you to know? Because, you left and you went over there. So you have this guy who basically forgot who he was to go out there and become this next person. So it's like you give up your credentials in a sense by adopting that lifestyle. So for you to come back and drop the ignorant suppositions that other people, or the ignorant assumptions other people make about, I guess, poverty and the environment, is just kind of whack, And then the second verse, he just lists a bunch of great figures at the beginning that he compares himself to, such as George Washington Carver and Muhammad Ali.
Well, I don't think just compares them. I think that he's also kind of embodying them. Like, he's kind of expressing how he is taking influences from these people. Like, he can't just he's kind of reinforcing the whole, you can't put me in this box because I get influences from Marcus Garvey. I get influences from Muhammad Ali. I get influences from George Washington Carver. Like, he's really kind of, that's how I took it, at least.
Well, I mean, yeah, and he's comparing himself to them directly in regards to all these people being the best in different fields of life, right? He is coming in with Nas, and he brings this to the music he makes. And while maybe I'm not 100% sold on the quality of all of the songs on this album, I have to give him credit with the passion and soul and pure militant mindset that he takes across the board. He is consistent in who he is in that regard. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's do this, thinking of a master plan, sipping on disaster, smoking on gangster, watching, argue, chilling on my bar stool with the Hell Up in Harlem hat in my hand, which is like a hat from the movie Hell Up in Harlem. I don't know, he flows through. And there's not like a whole bunch more that I really want to bring up here. The second end of the verse flows in with him kind of criticizing some old people who are now kind of propagating some negative crap just because they lived through XYZ. So like, just because you marched with Rosa Parks doesn't necessarily make you a qualified expert to comment on hood politics of the modern era, because things are different, And so he also kind of ends it like, matter of fact, you're an easier target. He's, again, talking to these people, his enemies, and I respect everything you accomplished, but maybe there are certain types that I'm shitting on him and what he's trying to do. But I hope I never get old and talk that nonsense. So who the fuck are you? And again, it's questioning just how other people judge the way he lives his life. Ironically, because all Nas seems to do is judge how people live life. Not all he does, but he does a fair bit. So I do appreciate this song, though. However, I know I'm going back. I'm being a little bit like in that mood kind of thing today, but he really does make a valid point on this song about people who kind of turn their back on their culture to go live in a different way, or people who maybe get old and embrace another way of thinking and then take credentials of their youth and repurpose them. These are in fact real issues we're still facing today, and in that regard I think it's a really, really cool song. I think the hook is really enjoyable to listen to. The way he sings it is really nice. Who are you trying to tell me who I am? And he just kind of repeats it. He's trying to box me in. And if you think about it, everybody's left, everybody's right today, everybody's this today, everybody's that today. Well, I'm a complex fucker that's got a lot of things going on inside of my soul. So I liked what he's trying to do with this one, and I give it a 4.5 on 5.
Nice. I really enjoyed David Ranier.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really enjoyed him on the hook, on the chorus. It was a really nice contrast to Nas's rapping. It really flowed well, really kind of gave you that, like, so kind of like that fuck you vibe, like, you can't tell me who I am, you can't tell me what to do, but at the same time, that, like, self-doubt inside of you feel that's like, who am I, and I gotta think of that. Like, that's something that I kind of my brain went when I was listening to this song, so that was cool. I like how he's expressing, again, like, you know, heard you got your master's, did college, never looked back. I like how he's expressing how people, you know, do the whole school thing, you go up, you become successful, but the fact that it's kind of like the idea that money changes you, the fact that success changes you, and I completely I'm not gonna say I completely understand it, but I do see how coming from one side of the fence and ending up on the other, you may start to lose touch a little bit from, like, your origins and whatnot, which I do think is a problem, and I do think that you need to always remember where you come from and, like, what struggles you've had and what brought you to your successes and to your accolades that allow you to just remember him and kind of in a way, like, be humble. And I think that's, like, really the core message of what he's trying to say here, and that's something I really, really took. I like the emphasis that he uses when he's like, fuck you, you, like, who do you think you are, or, like, anyway, he kind of just addresses the person, like, who
the fuck are you?
Right, that. Wow. I really like that emphasis, how he's kind of like even on the word fuck, he's really direct with it. Not saying that he's not being direct with a lot of the other words on the song, but just you can tell he's kind of like jabbing with that phrase. So that was something that I enjoyed. I already expressed how I felt with the Marcus Garvey line, but I do like how he's kind of breaking himself out of this box and really, I guess it's comparing. I guess that's what it is. He's
anyway.
But I'm just saying, like, I like how he's really kind of just reaching out for these like legendary these guys that, you know, we look up to and that he looks up to as well. And all in all, I gave it a 4.5.
All right, the next one has SwizZz Beatz on the beats again, and it's called Adult Film.
Fuck out of here, second guessing our love.
I think from, like, the perspective of Beats, this is absolutely one of my favorite ones. And what I thought was cool is Nas starts off with that RAW, which is a callback to The Bra by Big Daddy Kane, which is cool because we recently reviewed Long Live the Kane. And then you got, like, this weird chorus, fuck out of here, second guessing our love, Dick Tracy detective, inspected, hoes need a hug. So, I mean, it's pretty cool from a rhyming perspective, but, like, what are you really saying there? Okay, so whatever, you need to detect this dick, get your ass out the club, get a cookbook, you gossiping, watch it in hip-hop and love. So
he's telling women
like,
how to act again.
So I think he's, like, out there and he's, like, finding his girl at the club and he's like, what's up, why aren't you serious, or something. And again, it just feels weird that he's judging people. He's like, oh, you gossiping, you out there talking some shit, you watching this TV show, you need to detect my dick and go home and be whatever. And then I guess the verses are
when
fun.
he says detect my dick, is it like
It just rhymes with detective, okay?
I mean, sure. but it's
Detective,
clearly-
detect this dick. Come on, that's
get
why it's
it.
there.
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah.
Dick Tracy. Like, none of that's really overly clever to me. No offense. It's just multisyllabic in a way. I don't know what he's really trying to say. So if at the end of the day, you're so coded that, and maybe you guys, it's super clear what he's going on about here, but, And then, supposed to I don't mean to be brass, even a genius asks questions in class. Okay, I'm supposed to know a love that'll last. Her friends, they don't mess with rappers. Correction, I'm King Tuck's predecessor. So his girls maybe like are sitting there going, yo, I don't fuck with the rapper types, blah blah blah. He's like, I am not a rapper. I am in fact this greater purpose. Don't minimalize me to this petty little label. Then he fantasizes, and no mind him, I'm slick with words. Wait a second, the girl has a boyfriend. Tell your girlfriend I flipped the birds. I think she has a boyfriend on this one. I know one of the songs the girl has a boyfriend. Tell your girlfriend I flipped the birds. She don't know shit. I'm your neighbor, brother, homie, love, a friend to smoke with. I want us to take road trips. Fuck that low shit. I'm on some more. Everybody should know shit. Or let's be real discreet. Everybody lies. Not everybody lies. So your friend might hate. When was the last time her and a man was straight? So basically, he's kind of putting out, yo, I want to be with you, fine. You don't want to be like that, I'll take it any way I can get. Everybody's kind of full of crap. So when these other people are kind of whispering whatever in your ears, kind of trying to distract you away from the sanctity of a relationship, understand that people are full of crap. And he brings up a really good point when he goes, don't take advice from people who can't keep a person. Like, you take relationship advice from somebody that can hold down a relationship because they have been able to empirically prove that they can do it. Don't take advice from somebody that just keeps losing a guy or is dating somebody new every week. That is not the person that you listen to on this subject matter. So that was a great point that he reinforces it. Maybe some people will even sabotage your relationship because they're jealous that because you have a boyfriend, they'll get to spend less time with you and stuff. Anyway, and then he kind of like ends the light, just chill, light the bulb, it's dim, you're my adult film. All of that to say, come home from the club, let's fuck. That's what I'm understanding. You're in my adult film. Then there's the second verse where, there's a little bridge. The end of your comfort zone is the start of your life. That kind of sounds like he wants her to take it into pooper. Like, be adventurous. We'll lube it up, I'll stick it in your bum, and it'll be the start of a new sex life for you.
I mean, sure.
That's what I picture. And then misogynistic monologue that we dialogue. I'm like, wait, what? You're like admitting it? You know it? That's cool. I don't have a lot more to comment. Nas just said it right there. Yeah, I'm mature from the chest and higher north. What does that mean? I don't really understand. I guess you're mature from the chest. I guess that's from the heart or whatever. I haven't seen that personally, but I see it in terms of how you live your life. I don't see it in how you deal with women personally. Below the waist, I'm a dog. Okay, so basically, if you are willing to play the subservient women role in NASA's life and cook for him and make sure his life's taken care of proper, he will fuck you like a dog. I don't know, it's fine. He just kind of rolls through and he just tries to mac on the girl, and that's the end of this song. And then really my favorite part is SwizZz Beatz on the hook and just the overall flow of the beat and everything. So I was kind of like, this is alright. It's not my favorite, but I give a 4.35 on 5 because it's not that great thematically. It's not like a gem I'm going to throw on to like woo a lady, but I had to give SwizZz Beatz the credit there.
Definitely. This song kind of went over my head lyrically. I had trouble following along. I had trouble trying to get the message of what it was. But I do like the bridge going, the end of your comfort zone is the start of your life. The end of your comfort zone is the start of your life. You start to get comfortable after you get it right. Yeah, you start to get comfortable after you get it right. I really liked that bridge. That was something that stuck with me because it kind of like really kind of made me think and just started like reflecting about how I kind of live my life and stuff, and that's something I took away. But I like how and that's my problem, is that I don't actually know what this song is about. Instead of like, except for like, it kind of just feels like a toxic relationship, but I didn't really kind of understand. It felt like it was just all over the place. But I do like the production. I do like the flow, and sonically, I'm not skipping the song if it came on, if I was listening to the album, or even if it came on a playlist, I wouldn't skip the song because it does sound nice. I couldn't tell you exactly like what he was really trying to go for or what he was saying. So I left the song with a 4.2.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a song I couldn't ever see myself going out of my way to listen to, but if it came on, it's cool. I think we're going to cut it now for the part 1, part 2 stuff that we're doing, because it's over an hour and there's still half an album left, and it seems to be working fine so far with the limited feedback we got with this. Plus it makes YouTube happy to get more videos, so we're gonna do it like that, and we're gonna end this video very shortly. Thank you for watching the first part of this. Feel free to leave us a comment with anything that you want to say, contribute to, etc., etc. We'll be happy to answer you there. Feel free to subscribe if you want to catch part 2 or any other reviews coming. Feel free to like the video if you do. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricane, and Linda Williams. They support what we do. They're pretty dope like that, and they helped us get a new camera that you can't really see us with because it's a dark podcast. And yeah, if you want to help us out there, it would be really great of you. It's a little hot, so we're trying to rush through this. And yeah, definitely thanks for watching. We make music too. You can catch that on the channel, and we're gonna go get this one ready and get ready to record part 2. So thanks for watching. Peace.